Okay, so hello everybody, welcome back. It's been a hot minute since I posted. Today I thought that maybe I would incorporate more dance content into my channel. So today I'm giving tips for upcoming or current intermediate dancers. So I know it's the end of the year and the recital's coming up, but right now is a good time to reflect on how you've been doing this past year, so I thought it'd be a good time to make this video. So this is my last year in intermediate. Typically, you're only in intermediate for 3 years, unless you need to be held back because you aren't fully ready for advanced yet, because typically advanced classes, if you're new to the studio, you have to audition or you have to be evaluated by your teacher, so you can move on to advanced. So we're gonna hop right into it. This is just some tips and tricks for, again, upcoming or current intermediate dancers. Okay, so the first piece of advice or tip is stretch consistently. Like, it's okay if you miss like a day or maybe two a week, but try your best to stretch consistently and stretch the same I guess muscles or something. Not sure what you're stretching. Should probably, maybe, I don't know, ligaments. I think it's like, I don't know. Ignore that. Just try to stretch consistently. Sometimes things that people forget that they need to be stretching is your back and your hip flexors, hip flexor stretches, and also your IT band, which is like right here. I think it's close to there. So make sure you, like, I don't know, look up a video for stretches on those places, especially like your back, because you have to have some kind of flexibility in your back. You don't want it to be like super like restricted back there. Also flexibility, like if you are going into intermediate, it's not necessary that you have to have your split, middle, or regular split the first year, but by the second year you should probably have your split, because you're moving up, you are improving your dance skills, you're getting better every year, hopefully, and flexibility will be key eventually, and it's good to be flexible because it improves your dancing and the moves that you are able to do. Okay, so the next thing that is important that you do is exercising. Obviously, stretch before you exercise. Warm up before you stretch, though. Maybe like some jumping jacks, just to get your blood flowing, get your muscles warm, especially if it's cold outside or you live in a place where it is cold, like a lot of the year, like somewhere way up north. So always warm up before you stretch, and then stretch before you exercise. Now, exercise, that is also really important, especially if you do ballet, which most dancers do, because that's the foundation of all dance. Exercise is really important for balance, being able to do more than one pirouette, eventually learning how to do other types of turns like fouettes and Alicon turns. Yeah, stretching and exercise is really important, because even if you do get your split, you'll find that you won't be able to do a leap like the split in the air. You'll kind of look like what you looked before. It'll be less like, just imagine this is your split, because I can't do that with my fingers, obviously. This is your split, and this is how you leaped before. You're still gonna leap like this. You're not gonna leap like this. Doing exercises to improve your thigh strength and the strength in your hamstrings, so you can get the back leg and the front leg up that is key to be able to do leaps and stuff like that. You may not think that exercising, that improving the muscles in your arms and exercising those muscles is important, but it really is, especially if you do if you do ballet when you're at the bar. Being able to have strong arms so you can hold that position, especially that's especially important if you are going to audition for things in the future, like a school that has a dance program or something, or like if you want to audition for a competition team or something like that, then you will need strong arms so you can hold those positions strongly and not having your arms wobble all over the place and like forget about your arms, you know? So that is also important. And then one thing, I already mentioned this previously, but one thing that people almost always forget about, I didn't even know I needed to stretch and exercise this muscle before, is your hip flexors, dude. Your hip flexors, is that just your hip flexors? That is really important. It helps with extensions and turns and stuff like that. Your hip flexor is one of the most important muscles when it comes to dance. So make sure that you are strengthening that muscle and stretching. Okay, so the third thing is you might not think this is really necessary, but music. If you have music that motivates you, that really gets you going, then that's going to help you feel motivated to stretch and to exercise, and things like that. And I find that really helps me, and I think you may find that helpful as well. Okay, so the third thing, or fourth thing, sorry, is as you move up in the dance world, like as you improve, as you have more, like as you're having more opportunities, like it's not just your studio, maybe you're doing a summer intensive too, you may like start to talk about dance more or something like that, or say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do this, I have dance. And you, like, somebody may say to you like, oh, dance isn't a sport, or you know, this and this and this, it's an art, you know. Don't get all worked up over that. Yes, it is frustrating. Yes, it really gets under, it will get under your skin. I know it gets under mine when people say, oh, you're just twirling around on a stage. You know it's more than that, and you don't owe those people an explanation. So don't like get into a whole fight about it. It's okay to have like a healthy conversation about it, but don't let it get under your skin too much or really work you up, because those people will never know the amount of effort that you put in to dancing. So as long as you know that they don't know what they're talking about, it's fine. You know, it's just like don't let it get to you that much. Another thing, kind of with the like mental stuff, you dance, your mental health is a really big part of dance, because you may look at your body differently and say, I don't have a dancer body, or I'm too this, I'm too that to be a good dancer, I look weird when I'm dancing. That is something that all dancers go through. Body type, body, how you look at your body is a really big part of the mental game for dancers, and it's a really hard thing to deal with. But I promise you, there's no such thing as a dancer body. All bodies can dance. You know, you don't look stupid, you don't look silly, as long as you're not up there with like a weird expression on your face, like dancing to a hip song with this on your face. Like, it's, you are beautiful the way you were made, whether you don't have many curves or you do have curves. me personally, my shoulders are kind of broad. My arms are not exactly small. My thighs aren't exactly small. I got I got hips. I got like curves, you know. Um Sometimes I tell myself like, why am I even doing ballet? I just look like I'm flopping around over the room, but then I have to remind myself that anybody can dance, anybody can be a dancer. You just have to remind yourself that that stuff doesn't matter. It's the effort that you are putting in and your love for dance that matters. I hope that wasn't confusing or anything. I kind of didn't plan that. I kind of just said it. I hope you get what I'm saying. Another part of the mental game for dancers is is comparing your skill set to other dancers. Like, oh, she has her middle split down and her regular split. I only have my regular split. I don't have my middle split. How did she even get to that? You know, oh, her back is so flexible. Or she can do, she or he, you know, boys dance too. She or he can do so many tricks. I wish I could do those tricks. I feel like it would improve my dancing so much. You don't need to do a whole bunch of cool tricks to be a good dancer. Obviously, things like the shoulder roll and like just your normal split, those are kind of like, you should probably know how to do those. But you don't need to learn how to do an aerial or back handsprings to be a good dancer, you know. I mean, like, lots of good dancers can't do those things. I mean, like, those are more gymnastics-y. Most dancers that I know who can do those things have taken gymnastics classes. So that's different. Obviously, like, there might be some dancers out there who haven't and have learned how to do those without gymnastic classes. I'm not saying you can't. It's just like, that's what I've experienced, you know? So don't compare yourself to other dancers. You will get better as long as you put in the motivation and you stay consistent. Staying consistent is a really, really big part of becoming a better dancer and improving your dancing. Speaking of improvement, one thing that may help you is tracking your progress, whether it be like on a notepad with a pen or a pencil, or in a notebook, you know, a journal. Tracking your progress each week after each class to see how you've improved. I feel like that will help you move forward and see what you need to work on more and what you can like kind of decenter, you know, when you're stretching, when you're exercising, when you're working on skills. My pillow just slipped off the bed. Anyways, so track your progress throughout the year, and then you can also look back at the end of the year and see how much you've improved, even if you like didn't notice it like as much, you know. Okay. Now we're gonna talk about attire. Okay. I'm not gonna say anything about wearing extra clothes over your leotard and tights because that's studio specific. Even like the color of your tights, whether it's skin tone black or pink, or the color of your leotard, whether they don't really care what color it is, or whether they want it to be black or skin toned. That's like up to your studio. You know, I can't really say much on that. But I would say, I recommend getting a leotard with a built-in bra if you need it. Some dancers don't even wear bras, you know, because they're not there yet, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. That's just where your body's at. But if you do wear a bra, I would say get a leotard with a built-in bra, especially if it has like a design on the back or like an open back or something, because there's a lot of dance studios that don't want any underwear showing or any bra showing, or you know, it just peeking out, like it can kind of like annoy you, or like little metal part on the straps that you can connect the two straps with on the bra, that can like get in your way if you're doing contemporary. It can like hurt, dig into your back a little bit. Also, if you go to an audition for something, they will often say like you can't have any bra straps showing, you can't have any underwear showing, because that's like, it's a more professional thing, and like you don't want to walk into an audition and then they say like you have to do something about that bra because you can't have that showing, because that's just how it is. That's how it was for I've done 2 dance auditions, and that's exactly what they said. So as for the matter of tights, get convertible tights. Get convertible tights, like no questions asked. Get convertible tights, because you need to be able to convert them from full, like they'll have this is your foot, these are your toes, this is your heel. There's like a hole right here. You need to be able to pull it up and over and bring them up here for like contemporary stuff like that. So search up convertible tights and get them. Again, always check with your studio. Like, some of them are like looser with requirements for what kind of tights and leotards you should be wearing if you are just entering the intermediate stage. They're looser for the younger kids, but now they're probably going to start applying it like more strictly. So again, it depends on the studio, but always check with like the people at your studio to see like if they want you wearing pink tights, skin tone tights, black tights. Most likely not black tights, but it depends. Black tights, skin tone leotard, black leotard, or like they really don't care as long as it's not like hot pink. So yeah, always ask questions. If you feel like you did something wrong, ask your teacher. They'll probably ask you to do it, and if you did something wrong, then they will correct you, and if you didn't, great. And then as for correcting and criticism, don't take that as an attack. Take that as something that is aiding you, that is helping you, because criticism is very important, because you don't want a dance teacher who just lets you do it incorrectly and then you're up on stage doing a jazz leap like a Russian pas de jeu, except forward and not to the side. You don't want that. So yeah, ask questions, especially if you're working on recital dance. Always ask questions. If it's just a combo for practice, it's not super important that you get it down, but you should still ask questions. Again, especially for choreography for the recital, always ask questions, because you don't want to be up there doing something differently than the other dancers, if your teacher doesn't catch that during class. So yeah, this is gonna be one of the last topics, but start adding on extra experiences outside of your studio. If you do, me personally, I do 3.5 hours a week, just one day at my studio. If you're like me, you only do it one day, I would say add on extra experiences. However, if you do like 2 to 3 days, maybe even 4 days at your studio, that might not be as important. However, if you are intermediate and you aren't on the competition team, then most likely you're only going to be doing 1 or 2 days. So I would say add on extra experiences. Me, I'm doing an after school thing that I auditioned for. It's an ensemble that I had to audition for, and we have a show coming up, and we had a show in March. and that is depending. It can be 1 hour, it can be 2.5 hours. Yeah, 2.5 hours. Usually in the last 3 to 4 weeks before a show, like these past weeks before our show that is coming up in 2 weeks. Those were 2.5 hours, and my last one is next week. Not this week, but next week. It's the last rehearsal, so 2.5 hours. Then we have the show, and then I'm done. So right now it is a total of 6 hours. 6 hours a week right now. But adding on those extra experiences can help you. It can benefit you. Like a summer intensive, maybe it's a few weeks, maybe it's 1 week, maybe it's 3 weeks, maybe it's 6 weeks in a completely different state that is like 10 hours away. But that can really help you, and it'll be really good for you, and I really recommend finding something, like whether it is audition or not audition. Also, even if you don't want to get into something, even if you can't do something, if you do get in, you can always turn someone down. I don't think you're going to have to sign a contract that you absolutely have to accept this offer if you get in. I really highly doubt that you're ever going to audition for something like that. But even if, like, you go online, you find this opportunity, but, there's 2 rehearsals a week, and one of those rehearsals, that's the night that I have dance at my studio, so I can't do that. Still, I would say still audition so you get that experience. Typically at audition, they're going to give you a number. It's going to be one on your front. It's going to be the same number on your front and on your back. And they're going to say, number 15, fix your turnout, it's looking like it's turned in, not turned out. Number 30, get those arms up, or like this. You should be like this, So they are going to call you out if they see you did something wrong. Don't take that as an attack. I promise you, you are not going to be the only one in that room who is, called out for a mistake. So I'm also going to tell you what an audition may look like past that. So typically at an audition, no matter what it is, whether you're going to be doing hip-hop, contemporary, jazz, modern, lyrical, ballet, whatever, in that program, typically you're going to be doing multiple styles, but anyways, they're always going to have you do bar, maybe center. It depends on what you're auditioning for. If you're auditioning for a school, they're definitely going to have you do center and across the floor. So across the floor, center, and bar for an audition for a school. But if it's just a program, probably just bar, maybe center or across the floor, but it's either going to be either or one of those. Definitely bar though. They're probably going to have you what the heck? Have you do a combo to see how you work doing choreography that they give you. They may ask you to do some improv, just do whatever comes to your mind. If you do it just looks stupid, it's fine. Nobody's really gonna remember that unless you do something really strange and crazy. But yeah, that's about what an audition may look like. Typically an audition is not gonna be any less than an hour. I'm so serious. It can be anywhere from an hour to 3-4 hours. I don't know, depending on what you're auditioning for. And how many people. If they'll usually divide it up into groups. So you'll have to wait for the one group to go, and then the next, and then the next. And depending how many people are in the audition. Sorry, my voice is dipping. It's dipping. Oh my gosh. Okay, it sounded kind of gravelly. Does it sound gravelly to you? Whatever. It's besides the point. So that's basically all I have as tips for you. Kind of wandered off a little bit there. This video really isn't gonna have that much editing. Probably none at all, because like I really wanted to get this out there, and editing is not my thing. Anyways, thank you for sticking around if you did. Hopefully follow for more content this summer. I'm hoping to do more content on how I stay consistent in my like exercising and stretching practices when I'm not doing dance, and how I still keep up, and don't like lose the skills that I had. So hopefully I'm going to be doing more of that this summer. I'm also going to be doing some travel stuff. So yeah, I hope you all have a great rest of the school year if you're still in school, and a good summer. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope this helped you. I hope it wasn't confusing. I know I ramble sometimes. Gonna go now before I start rambling again. Bye.